I am so excited about this year's film challenge. Did I lock my keys in the car? I could really use a superhero.
Good thing the genre for this year is superheroes.
Disability Film Challenge is a terrific contest. It gives filmmakers the opportunity to tell unique stories that showcase disability in its many forms.
We love the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge.
We've been doing it for 8 years now, and then here we are at Sundance.
The greatest thing about the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge is that it helps
build more space and more pathways to sustain artists with disabilities.
People have gotten jobs because of this Disability Film Challenge and whose lives have changed.
I've auditioned more after the film challenge than I had in the last 4 years.
This has truly been a collective effort. People with disabilities taking their career in their own hands. They're all powerhouse performers who stir our emotions, and they always make us think.
Roll sound to take one.
Action!
One of the things that we wanted to do was bring these performances to another level where people beyond us can relate to our story in some way. When you're able to do that, you disregard that there's a little person there.
Yeah. Having the opportunity to just have this sense of community is so important as a disabled person because a lot of times you feel alone.
I can do this, and I might not have the fanciest equipment or a lot of help, but I can tell a story, and if I can tell a story, I can make a film.
We are starving for different perspectives.
This is something I could do every day.
People want to listen.
Doesn't matter if you have no resources, no experience, do it.
The people now are stronger than they have ever been.
Yeah, because of superheroes.
What?
They're stronger now than ever before.
That's what I was just saying, Blur.
I was hoping.
This is our 9th annual film challenge, and we are live at Sony Picture Studios.
Woohoo! Super excited to be here. Loved everyone's films. Thank you so much for your support.
I'm excited to be here tonight at awards show.
95 films is an incredible number, and I'm so happy to be back at the finale again.
Attending this event always inspires me.
You always get to see a bunch of talented people.
It's something that's growing and getting better and really making a difference.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Woo!
And the winner is...
Hello, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for that kind intro. I know you were able to see the recap video, which describes what the film challenge is, but for those of you that are not familiar with me, I am Nick Novicki. I am a little person wearing a black shirt. I got a little bit of beard, and I am an actor, comedian, producer, and I am the founder and director of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. The Film Challenge is an annual film competition that puts disability in the entertainment spotlight. We give people with disabilities opportunities both in front of and behind the camera. We do year-round workshops, seminars, screenings, networking opportunities, and most importantly, our work is leading to jobs. Now, a little bit about me. As I said, I'm a comedian and an actor. I've been very lucky in my career in that I've been in over 40 TV shows and movies. I've got the chance to work with Martin Scorsese, the Farley brothers, and tour all over the world. But the majority of my work has been self-driven, with me writing, producing, creating my own content. But ultimately, work led to work. And, you know, as I said, it's helped the fact that I've been able to do it myself. But 10 years ago, I looked around and I said, why aren't more people with disabilities creating their own work? You know, now with DSLR cameras and the ability to really do everything yourself, we have a platform that filmmakers and people that wanted to be actors and writers and producers and comedians didn't have in the past. And I looked around, I said, why aren't more people with disabilities utilizing this do-it-yourself, you know, thought process? And, you know, we are the largest minority population in the world. The CDC just did a study that said 1 in 4 Americans identify as having a disability. But yet, even though we are the largest minority population, we are also the most underrepresented. with less than 3% being represented as having disabilities on screen, and even further lack of representation behind the camera. And so 10 years ago, I didn't want to just sit back and just watch this happen. I wanted to take action. So I created the Disability Film Challenge. And it's a once a year making a film that has somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera based on an assigned genre. Now, I realize that a shortened period of time is a way that you can get, people to volunteer, and you can get professionals to continue to build your relationships. That's ultimately how I've kind of built my career. And so I thought I would do this as a one-off, back in 2014, a way for friends with disabilities to create content. But what I saw is right away, people started to get noticed by casting directors, by producers. And even though we only had a few films, people with disabilities started to ask, when's the next one? And everybody wanted to know when that next opportunity would be. So it grew. And, then it grew year after year. And ultimately in 2017, I partnered with Easterseals Southern California. And now to date, we've had hundreds of films that have been created, countless success stories. And ultimately, this is people with disabilities taking their career in their own hands. The coolest thing about this is not something where you could just talk about it. Let's face it, a lot of people are aware of the problem of the lack of inclusion and the lack of representation of people with disabilities. But with the Film Challenge, you can't just talk about the problem. You have to be a part of the solution. You have to write, you have to create, you have to edit, you have to do all these things in a shortened period of time. These were all done within 5 days. And this year, we just had our 9th annual Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. We had 95 films that were created from all over the world, including some of these films had first-time actors, writers, directors, and producers with and without disabilities. And we also had Oscar winners and Emmy winners that took part in the Film Challenge. Now, again, the films don't have to be about disability, but they do have to be done within our 5-day span. They have to follow our genre. And this year, the genre was superhero. So it's, let's be honest here. We're CAA. You guys put together all those big superhero movies. Usually that's $100 million and you got about 5 years. These were done in 5 days and it was all volunteer. So that's just to put something into scale. But right away, these films are already leading to jobs. The CSA sharing them to casting directors all over the world. Networks, studios, and our Fortune 500 partners that sponsor the Film Challenge use our database of talent in front of and behind the camera to get people jobs. And what you are about to see are the 4 winning films from the 2022 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Now, we have an unbelievable panel of judges, which include people with and without disabilities, journalists, directors of film and TV, and ultimately what they were able to do. And thank God I'm not a judge, all right? Because I don't want, somebody with a disability putting a hit out on me, all right? I'm gonna throw that out there right now. I'm not a judge, so just in case, because I know we have a lot of agents out there and somebody's gonna start, contacting me. But we had judges that really had to break down a very tough competition. And our categories are best film, best director, best writer, best editor, best actor, and a best awareness campaign. Because what's most importantly about the Film Challenge is this is not about just making a film and hiding it. This is about taking the film and putting it out there into the world. We're different than many other film competitions and film programs. This is about exposure for these artists with and without disabilities. And this is about exposure for people with disabilities. And the disability community has embraced it, and so has the entertainment industry. And I think it's a great example of the fact that we are being hosted by the most amazing talent agency in the world that wants to see these films, that is putting a stamp that says, we support disability inclusion. So again, I really want to, from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you, CAA, for hosting us, for watching these films, what we're going to do is we're going to, go through and watch the films and then bring the filmmakers on so that you can hear from them. And we're going to get a chance to talk to everybody. So without further ado, I am going to show the first film, which is a film that was a triple winner. That's right. We're starting off with a bang. This film won Best Film, Best Director, and Best Editor. This film is Mac and Cheese. Take it away.
The winner for Best Director, presented by NBC Universal, is Amanda Pinto, Mac and Cheese.
What's up?
Not much.
Is that Mark's mac and cheese?
Kinda.
That's not cool.
Whatever, it's just mac and cheese.
Dude, he got so mad last time. He told you like 40 times.
What up? Is that my mac and cheese? It was over the line.
Here we go.
What the heck? You're a very talented chef. Manny, if you want to go to the grocery store, we can cook together. I want to help you, but this is getting out of control. You can't keep eating my stuff.
I'm sorry.
What is this, like the 5th time we've had this conversation this week about responsibility?
I said I'm sorry.
I love you, man, but you're being a really bad friend right now, okay? We're here for you. We want to support you, but you have to help yourself first. You need to start taking care of yourself a bit more. We're here for you. We want to help you, but it's got to start with you, bro.
What's up?
What the?
Is that Mark's mac and cheese? That's not cool.
What up? Is that my mac and cheese?
I was just putting it back.
Dude, you can't keep doing this. This is getting ridiculous.
What's up?
Nothing.
Is that my mac and cheese? Yo, I'm making mac and cheese. You want some?
No. Absolutely not.
Man, he hasn't done his dishes in like a week.
Manny, did you get the toilet paper? Oh, this is not going to be good for anybody.
Sorry.
No way! No way! Come on! No! 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 Cheers!
Manny. 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 Hi, Manny.
Die?
Don't be scared.
Are you God?
No.
Am I dead?
No, you're just in a liminal space.
Why do you have a dog?
Because he's cute.
That's... You're right, he is cute.
Manny, I'm here because you've been given a gift. We've been given a gift. We can do something a lot of people wish they could.
Go back?
I want to tell you something that I wish I knew when I inherited this gift. You're going to want to go back and try to fix things. But You're not going to be able to because you're human, and humans mess things up. It's not about trying to fix the things you've done wrong in the past. It's about trying to do your best in the present. So, Manny, what are you going to do?
All right. One more time. How about a round of applause, even though we're all by ourselves? Let's by ourselves. Round of applause for Mac and Cheese. And I'd like to bring on the amazing filmmakers. She is the director that won Best Director, Amanda Pinto, and he is the producer. And he won the Best Film Award and was nominated for Best Actor as the lead in this film, and that is Summer Kabuchia.
That's me.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
So, you know, what an amazing film. Congratulations. We've never had a 3-time winner before. They won these awards because it's a very talented, thought-provoking, fun film. But it is also about mac and cheese in a little bit. Can you talk about the inspiration of your film?
Yeah, so I wanted to put together a group of people that I really cared about and that we've been friends for a long time. And Yanni Papadimos, who was nominated for Best Writer, I reached out to him and the theme was superheroes. So the way he worked, which I didn't know at the time, is he threw out 3 ideas to me. And the first one was a roommate eats his other roommate's mac and cheese, and then hilarity ensues. And I just thought that it was so funny and ridiculous and would give us an opportunity to do so much. And then he went from there and wrote it in like 3 days? And then
2 days tops.
And we, you know, spitballed ideas and bounced off each other. And then the final product ended up coming out pretty good.
And, you know, you've been working together for quite a while, right? It seems like, you know, all the different events you guys come as a clan. It's all of you together. It seems like this has been a long working relationship, or was this a new kind of collaboration? Can you talk about your history?
Of course. So yes, we all have known each other. This year will be 11 years, actually. We all went to undergrad together at NYU. And, you know, being in acting class every day, you really get to know the people around you. Mm-hmm. And so ever since then, we've been, you know, working on theater together, you know, writing small film projects like this. But this was the first time that we all, you know, created something sort of to this scale. And it was, you know, it was such a blast to be able just to spend 3, you know, sleepless days with some of our best friends. And it's been really cool to be able to have this opportunity. And now we're working on a feature together. And this has been such an amazing, you know, launch pad for us all as, you know, creators and friends. And, you know, that's been, I think, the most rewarding part of this experience was really being able to foster our creative energy together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely showed. And it was interesting, you know, the film, it obviously, you know, from us watching it, there's so much great editing, so much great cinematography. It has a lot of different kind of there's a Groundhog's Day kind of feel with the, you know, going back in time, or Looper, all this kind of transformation. And, you know, something that kind of struck me is, you know, you never really talk about Summer's disability. There are some shots where you can see that, you know, you're an amputee. Can you talk about the thought process of how to include your disability and how much and what your agency was there?
Right. So I went back and forth with it for a bit, but ever since I started doing the film challenge with David Harrell 5 years ago or so, he always made it a goal to make a movie with people with disabilities that had nothing to do with their disability necessarily, not hiding it, you know, by any means, but not making it the focus. And so I think moving forward with Mac and Cheese, I just wanted him to be a clear character, He's kind of just a bad roommate that learns a lesson, you know what I mean? And I said it when we got the Best Film Award in the speech. I just think it's important moving forward for the stories that we tell about people with disabilities to not necessarily always be that being the focus, because you know we can contain the whole spectrum of life, and I think that's really important for people to see as well, and that's how we start getting more people represented on television and film. So that was something that was important to me, to not make it necessarily the focus.
And I think also as a team member without a disability, and a few other members of our team as well, that we always wanted to make sure that we were deferring to Summer in terms of the narrative that he wanted to be putting out into the world, and, you know, deferring to the person with that lived experience, and not, you know, there was the sort of 11 o'clock decision as to what the ending of the movie was going to be. And that was a decision that was solely led by Summer. And I think that, you know, we'll keep this decision a secret, but I think that was really, you know, the thing that brought the whole film together. And that was, you know, us realizing that this was not our place to make the decision. It was Summer's place to make the decision. And that's something that I learned, you know, as a creator moving forward, how to listen to people when you're working on a team like that.
Yeah, and I think that there's so much power in that when you're coming from an authentic place, where it's, you know, not just somebody who's a part of the project, but also you're a producer, you're the lead on it, you're the one turning in the paperwork at the end of the day, and making sure things go to SAG. And so I think that that's something that we've seen happen time and time again, and it's been very successful for people also, and for projects when they attach, you know, a producer with a disability, as opposed to just somebody who is a representative or is sort of giving coverage, you know. So I think that there's definitely some power in that. So you guys were able to do a lot. Do you want to talk at all about the challenges? I mean, this is all done within 5 days. You got VFX, you're filming in New York City. You know, what did it just go smooth, or was there anything along the way that was challenging?
I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't go smooth. I think it went smooth, but there was definitely, you know, moments where it's like, how are we going to figure this out? Because it is a challenge, right? So that's part of the gig. And we had to find Adele and Luis, who are two sound crew, within 24 hours. I reached out to an NYU program that we had been a part of, and they had students that were willing to volunteer. And then we also had to find equipment and then shoot it in a day and a half. And then Jake, who won Best Editor, edited it in like
I think like 10 hours.
Yeah, which is crazy because it came out so well. And I'm very proud of what he did. But I think the fact that we all knew each other to some extent, and maybe didn't work super intimately before, but kind of knew how each other worked, it allowed for a little more leeway for it not to ever get super stressful. It was a lot of fun at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
And someone else who would be remiss without mentioning their talents is our composer, Ben Chavez, who all of the music in our film is original. Last Ben, earlier in the week when we knew that the theme was going to be superhero, you know, but nothing else, he had already scored some music for us, and it was beautiful music. He wrote an original song with like lyrics and sang it and recorded it, and it was amazing. And then we got to Sunday and we had all of our footage and we're like, all right, do cut this together. And it became very clear that like, oh, this beautiful music that Ben wrote is not going to work with the movie that we created. And I think it was literally an hour's time where we called Ben, we said, hey, this is the new plot, these are the new beats, like any chance you could throw something together for us, like at the last hour. And within an hour, he turned around. I mean, you've now seen the film, like what I would consider to be one of my favorite parts of the movie, which is the scoring. And he did that without having seen a cut, without having seen any of the footage, just going off of, you know, the few sort of beats that we gave him. And we were all just like, our jaws were on the table. I was like, I don't know how he did it. He's a savant. Everybody hired Ben to score your films. But that was such a fun challenge with then the biggest payoff at the end.
I remember you guys had told him that you needed the scoring for the beginning, and Jake had already edited something together, and we were all here. And he put what Ben had just sent to what Jake had just edited, and neither one had seen either one. And this is the beginning of the movie when the fridge is closing and all that, and it just fit perfectly, like out of nowhere. It was like magic. It was crazy.
We all screamed.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you all so much. The both of you, congratulations on your great work and all the opportunities that you've gotten from this, the mentor meetings that have come from this. the grants, the screenings at Academy Award qualifying festivals where all of these winning films will be screening. So we definitely are going to be seeing each other quite a bit more. But we are going to have to move on to the next film. So thank you. And without further ado, I would like to show you the film that won Best Actor in the 2022 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And that film is Seven, starring Natalie Trevone.
And the winner for Best Actor, presented by IMDb Pro, is Natalie Trevone, Seven.
Mr. Gordon? Hi, I'm looking for Mr. Gordon. Elder Brown said he'd be expecting me.
You're late. Shut the door.
I'm sorry, I missed the bus.
That's why you plan ahead. Sit down.
It won't happen again, Mr. Gordon.
Sit up straight and cross your legs. Seven. Do you know what a slayer is?
Yeah, you mean Rihanna?
I'm being serious.
Me too.
Okay, let's get started.
What exactly are we doing? I'm kind of in the dark.
Do you know who you are?
I think so.
You are born to be a champion. Seven. But a good champion needs to be trained. This is not an easy task. There will be more bad days than good. That's why there's two important concepts that you must learn as you begin your training. You'll be here every day on time, and you must be willing to do the work. You understand?
I understand. But I didn't sign up for this. But if Elder Brown insists, then I trust him.
We will start with the mental, which includes your attitude. Your mindset must be renewed. If you believe you can do it, you will. But if there are any doubts or hesitation, you will fail.
Excuse you?
Feel me without seeing me.
Left.
No, do it again.
Right.
No! Tap into your senses. If you are in tune with the spirit, it will guide your instincts. No! Trust yourself.
This isn't making sense.
You're not even trying.
I'm not getting this.
You don't have to getting it. It's not about getting and understanding. It's about letting yourself in this moment. That's it. Okay? You don't have to.
I don't know what Elder Brown expected me to do, but I'm not who you think I am.
I don't have to know who you are. You have to know who you are.
That was beautiful. My mentor, Elder Brown, he used to play that song for us when we were scared.
Do you know the lyrics?
When I am weak, be strong for me. Oh Lord, please be my Astrid.
Thank you.
Hello? Mr. Gordon? I'm ready now.
Go! Faster! You can do it! 3, 2. You can do it! Yes! Stand up! One more! Faster! Faster! Go! 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 Hit! Fighting is all about stamina.
Same time tomorrow, Mr. Gordon?
Welcome, Natalie Trevone. Trevone. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Well, you are the first time, I just said we had a first with the first time we ever had a triple winner. Well, also we had a first this year, and the first time we had a repeat winner of Best Actor. And Natalie, I mean, again, I'm glad I'm not a judge. I keep saying it, but CAA agents, don't come after me. I am not the judge. All right. Call back. Congratulations on such unbelievable work.
Thank you so much. I was, pretty surprised because, we were like, has this happened before? So I definitely wasn't expecting to be up again for a Best Actor.
Well, I think many people that saw that film, including people that just watched it right now, weren't surprised because you gave such an amazing performance, and you're just such a great actress. You also have a great collaboration with your director, your producing partner, who directed and produced your film last year, as well as the producer that's been a part of your film that was nominated 2 years ago. So that's a pretty cool thing. She's not here with us today, Marie Elise Rodriguez, but shout out to her. And what inspired this film? Can you talk about the process of how you and Marie came to create this character and the film?
Yeah, so once we found out that it was going to be superhero, we kind of immediately already knew that it was going to be Buffy inspired. I'm a huge Buffy fan. So is Marie, but we have two different favorites. So I'm a really huge fan of the series, and she's a really huge fan of the movie, the original movie. So we kind of were just like, okay, let's, see what, the details are going to be and try to put some things together very quickly. And so we were able to pretty much throw it together in a day, like what the script was. And then try to shoot something. So it was very crazy. I feel like every time me and Marie get together, it's like a one and done. Like it's like a one day, and we kind of just pull it all together some way, somehow, because she's like a working line producer. So she doesn't have all the time in the world, but we always just go in knowing okay, let's just do what we can and have fun with it. And I think it always miraculously comes out really good.
Well, I mean, it was an ambitious film too. It's not just, people kind of sitting around and talking and drinking coffee. There's martial arts and all kinds of training, and that's really, really cool. Were you can you talk about the inspiration of how you kind of came in to embrace your character, and talking about you being blind, and a lot of the story is about you kind of learning this kind of sense of martial arts where almost sort of like the Force from Star Wars, kind of. Did that come into play at all? Were you like, how do we, was that part of the process when you started to write, thinking of kind of cool ways to sort of talk about being blind but not talk about it, and showing you as just a awesome just hero, or not, or where did that come in?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had the same mindset as Summer's team, where we wanted to focus more about the fact that this was like a young girl being pulled out of her normal life into being a slayer. Obviously, like, you see me walk in with my cane at the beginning, but again, like, we don't explicitly talk about me being blind, but we do put some elements of like, if you like watch the movie, he's like, like, he wanted me to feel him, like, without seeing him, like actually pay attention to what was going on in my environment, and being like very attentive to the spirit and what was going on, and like spatial awareness, and like just using all these other techniques to be an amazing fighter. And I think like that is kind of what I do in my normal life when I'm out traveling by myself. It's like I'm listening very carefully to traffic, using my smell. Like, we always laugh when we're in New York City, my friend and I, and we're like, when the subway's coming up, because you'll smell it, so when when to turn. So it's like using those things that I like use in my daily life, to kind of built into the storyline, to make her like this great warrior.
And I think that you just kind of touched on something which I think is so powerful and important. You have something to bring to the table as a writer, as an actor, something that many other writers don't have, that lived experience that you can kind of tap into it on your terms, by you writing it, by you producing it, by executing it. And, at the end of the day, not only are you kind of using these senses, but you're also in the film learning how to fight. So I don't want to say anything wrong here, because I saw you do a lot of crazy kicks, and I don't I just don't want to step my role. I'm a little bit intimidated.
It's acting, Nick.
No, I know, I'm kidding. So, but you've really gotten a lot of different people that have reached out, and networks and studios and casting directors. We've been reached out all the time. People really love your work, and I know you've been getting some jobs and getting meetings and interest for other opportunities. And so I just want to say congratulations. I know you and your partner are working on some other projects. If you care to mention anything else that you're working on before we move on to the next film, feel free to give a little plug.
I mean, I can't say too much, but like, I am like working on a pilot team now, which is really cool. And so I'm really excited about it, and like excited to introduce the world to a completely different character. Me, Nick, I always do something drastically different from whatever I did the last. Nene is very much different from Seven. But I just kind of like to explore my range as an actress, and do things that I've never done before, and challenge myself. I think with last year's film, I never rapped a day in my life. And so I just kind of jumped into it and was like, I guess we're doing this. And then with this film, like, I'm not a fighter. So it's like, I just try to like immerse myself in these new characters and try to find ways to challenge myself, so that I'm never becoming stagnant or stale as a performer.
Well, that's important. Shake it up, that's really awesome. So I just want to say congrats. Your work is amazing, and I know everybody's going to get a chance to keep seeing the great work that you're doing. And we are going to have to move on to the next film. So without further ado, I am going to bring you the film that won the Best Awareness campaign. Again, this is a film that got as many likes, views, and shares and press for their film. And the team worked really hard, because as many in CAA, it's not just about making a film, but it's about marketing it and getting it out there to the masses. So this team really did a great job of doing that, which ultimately helped spotlight so many other films that were made and created from around the world. So without further ado, ILY.
And the winner for Best Awareness Campaign Award, presented by Prime Video, is Jennifer Monsingo, Illy.
Congratulations on your role, Queen.
Those smell so good.
Thank goodness I'm so thirsty.
Oh, no, thanks. I'll stick with the juice. It's not worth the med interaction. Champ, however, is a huge drinker. But he only drinks the finest liquor.
As he should.
I went to a call last week for a literal disabled character, and guess where my audition was?
Somewhere accessible.
The irony.
It's like they love our stories, but they don't love us. People find us so unfamiliar that it makes them uncomfortable.
I'm not sure I'm actually intimidating.
Wait for it. Do you need a hand?
I got an extra foot if that helps.
Oh, actually,
What is it? Don't pull down on me.
I'm just so sick of it having to be the main conversation or having to explain why a date is not accessible.
We'll explain by how the sex works.
They shouldn't be asking when it takes my 20-year-old metal detector faster to find buried treasure than it takes for men to find where X marks the spot.
It's like we're a different species.
The last girl that I dated, she was convinced that I had super sight to make up for being deaf.
Odd questions.
Right? I have 20/20 vision in deaf ears, not superpowers.
Amen to that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Except for not having to listen to ableist idiots.
Wait, hold on.
All right. Well, congratulations to the team ILY. Let's bring them on screen. That is Jennifer Monzingo, Christine Marshall.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Hey. So congratulations. Can the two of you, can you talk about the inspiration for your film? You know, have you known each other for a while? Is this a new collaboration? Talk about, you know, how this film came to be and how you two paired up and created such a cool and diverse team.
Hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm a white woman with like medium hair, glasses. I'm wearing a blue shirt. I'm deaf, so I use sign language. And me and Jen actually met at the dog park because we just love dogs, and we've actually just been good friends for a long time, probably 2-3 years now. So
I am 4'3" and I have brown hair and I'm a hot mess. But anyways, ILY, Christy actually wrote it, and it's just 5 girlfriends getting together. Obviously disabilities are discussed, but we just wanted to show that the friendships are both typical and atypical.
Yeah. And I think you guys did such a great job of just kind of having a nice little slice of life. It's a couple of girls just hanging out, you know. You in the past you said you wanted like a Sex and the City vibe, and you know, it definitely felt like it was that, just kind of friends together. You're not talking about, you know, you're talking about relationships, you're talking about love, you're talking about, you know, just everyday things. And then just happens to be that you literally are representing almost every disability. You got little people, wheelchair users, deaf, you know, somebody on the autism spectrum. So I just thought that was really unique.
So we are all disabled, both in front and behind the camera. And we kind of wanted to take the theme as like, we aren't superheroes, because so many people think, oh, you're disabled, you're so heroic for just existing. And so we wanted to put a different spin on it of like, no, we're just normal people. Just our existence doesn't make us heroic, just like neither does yours.
Yeah. Our goal with the project was really just to have like a fun weekend where we just were a disabled group of women who were just all hanging out and having a fun time, eating pizza and just enjoying ourselves. So the project was just the result of that.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what this is about. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the challenge is just about making something. So we always say, look, you make a film, you win, because ultimately you're creating a new network, you're creating a piece of content, you're creating you're creating exposure for yourself, for your team, for the community. And I thought it was, you know, really unique and just kind of fun. And my favorite thing with the challenge every year, and even though I say I'm not a judge, and I'll say it again, just because I feel like I need to say that now each time, is when I see the sort of lineup. We had 95 films. So if you put 95 films at, you know, 5 minutes of film all back to back, I mean, we have more content than the Tiger King, you know, in the miniseries. Like, it is a lot, you know, I'm looking through a lot of films, but what's cool is we have the same assignment that goes to everybody. And that is this year's superhero. And then we have different themes and props that need to be included so that we know these were done over the course of our challenge dates. But everybody has a different take on what that assignment is. Some can be more serious, some can be funny, some can be, you know, and just even within this, it was hero or anti-hero, you know. And so I just love that you guys took a different approach. And it was like, look, our, you know, kind of hero vibe is that we are not heroes, we're just hanging. I like that, you know, and I thought that was really unique. So your film won the awareness campaign. Can you talk about, both of you two are exceptional at marketing? You know, I'll give a little plug. Chrissy, I believe you're in film school right now too, as well, or?
I actually just graduated from USC. So
boom.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So on top of being a very talented filmmaker who went to a pretty prestigious school, you know, I think the best film school in the world, you are very good at marketing. And so are you, Jennifer? And, you know, can you two talk about how you were able to get so many people to share this film and to share stories about disability inclusion? Just talk about the awareness campaign a little bit.
I think just being able to talk about disability topics that people aren't familiar with is just something that is very easily marketable, because people are always curious. I think anyone who has a disability knows that every day has somebody with a new curiosity. And so I think marketing disability is a really special niche realm.
Exactly. We just both used our social media platforms. Chrissy's a big TikToker, and I'm part of a family brand of TikTokers. So it was just simply that, because social media is free. You don't have, we weren't allowed to obviously buy ads and stuff like that. That wasn't the point, but it's just showing the importance of the fact that there's free platforms out there that you can use, even if you're in no budget.
And I think that your campaign really showed that there is a market of people that want to see content that truly authentically represents disability, but also people that want to embrace it and share and get behind. People that may follow your lifestyle were like, hey, this is a new thing, but let's get on this and let's do a TikTok share or collab or something else about this film. And so I feel like that's really moving forward, that there's a lot of opportunities for, films, whether that's a studio wide release or a TV show, to embrace marketing and really hiring people with disabilities to do cool campaigns. And, it seems like that there's a huge market for that. And I see both of you doing great gigs, and, maybe you're working in conjunction with, a studio release film that Christine is directing, and, and you're, doing it on your own platform. But I feel like there's definitely opportunity to be working in collaboration. So I'm very excited to see, this bright future for both of you. But we have to move on to our last film because we are starting to run out of time. Our last film is our film that won Best Writer. And that film is Superhero Inc. Take it away.
And the winner for Best Writer, presented by Netflix, is Christine Belanger, Liz Whitmere, Superhero Inc.
Hi, good morning. They told me I could come in?
Yep, you're next. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're interviewing for the junior hero position, is that right?
Yes. Can I ask you?
It says here that you're telekinetic. That's very unique. We don't get a lot of that, and there is a huge need for telekinetic heroes in our crime-fighting division.
I actually wanted to ask you,
what is the largest sized object you've moved with your mind?
A car once, but it takes a lot of...
And you understand that since this is an entry-level role, you'd be primarily using your powers for low-level crime fighting to start? Bylaw enforcement, graffiti prevention, and the like?
Gotta start somewhere, right? I was wondering.
Loads of room for advancement, though. Once you vanquish a few minor villains, you'll be eligible for an annual bonus and a cape.
Do you have any disabled employees?
Ew. I see from our background check that for several weeks in 2005, you were an inspiration on social media?
Yes. Someone recorded a video of me walking out of a grocery store.
Because?
Well, I wear headphones because loud noises can be overwhelming, and I occasionally struggle with mobility, and I guess they felt me buying my own groceries was special. From time to time, I experience involuntary tics. I sometimes need a cane for...
Wow. So what you're saying is you're...
I'm what?
You're like... actually...
telekinetic?
You know.
Looking for a job?
Special needs.
What?
I'm concerned this isn't going to work out.
Why not?
We actually have met our quota for telekinesis.
But you said...
It is so amazing that you're able to buy your own groceries, though. Very inspiring. Would you be okay if we put a still from that video on the cover of our shareholder magazine? They love to see inclusion in action.
Does that mean I'd get the job?
Oh, heavens no. We would like to use you as an example of something inspiring, though. Inspiration is very on brand for superheroes.
You know that telekinesis doesn't involve physical strength or agility, right?
Oh, I am sure you are very capable.
And I'd be able to fulfill all conditions of the role, thanks to the flexible accommodations I saw in the job listing. Flex time, working from home.
Oh, those aren't accommodations. Those are employee perks. We don't have the capacity to accommodate for accommodations. I am so inspired just sitting here listening to you talk. We do have an unpaid internship position in our diversity and inclusion department.
I'd much rather fight crime and get paid.
Look, a big part of this job is public perception. We have an image to maintain.
I see.
So I'm sure you understand why you wouldn't be a great fit. It's a company culture thing. Can you imagine a superhero portrait with headphones and a cane? I mean, just imagine.
The laser eye guy wears sunglasses.
Oh, well, that's different. That's to keep him from incinerating the photographer.
An accommodation, if you will.
But it's different. He has a six-pack.
Would it help if I showed you my abs?
Oh, that is very inappropriate. See, this is the kind of thing we're worried about. Sometimes, differently abled people. Oh!
Oopsies.
All right, let's bring on the filmmakers. Liz Whitmere, Christine Bellinger, welcome.
Thank you, Nick. It's wonderful to be here. This is incredible. What an amazing group of people. Excellent company.
Absolutely. I second what Liz says. Absolutely.
Well, can the two of you talk about the inspiration behind your film? Your film being a little different. It's all the other films being narrative, and your film being animated. Can you talk about the choice of how you created your film, what inspired you to create it, and what inspired you to do animation?
So I reached out to Christine when I heard about the film challenge because I've been wanting to work with her for ages, and they said yes, and it was a wonderful immediate affirmation. And then we both realized that COVID in Toronto, where we both live, was in a big peak. And it felt like a questionable choice to ask people to come and volunteer their time in a potentially unsafe environment. So in the end, we ended up making the film entirely remotely. I tried to learn After Effects in about 48 hours from a standing start. And it was a real brain expander for me. That was a really difficult thing. And Christine and I would send the script back and forth, and then we each recorded the voices remotely, and then finally assembled the film and sent it off to you. And that's how it came to be. That was the process.
Well, the film itself, it felt very personal, touching on workplace discrimination, specifically disability. Some may call the theme, ableism. Christine, in the past, you've talked about, you taking sort of agency in your own experiences as somebody with a disability and sort of figuring out a way to authentically put this into this film and why animation was the right kind of genre for that. Can you talk about, what were you able to tap into and why you felt animation was the right platform?
Okay, I might need you to restate a part of the question.
Yeah, I like to give, my favorite thing to do is give 6 questions. Sorry. Okay. The film felt very authentic. I know in the past you've shared and online that you tapped into your own life and. Yes. And can you talk about that? Why did you choose to do that? And I felt like it was very powerful.
Thank you. when it comes to disability accommodations in the workplace, whether it's through, the hiring, the retention, the promotion, or anywhere within the hiring process, there's always some form of discrimination. There's always some kind of discomfort that happens on the part of the non-disabled person, where the disabled person has to make the other person comfortable about their disability, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always some kind of awkwardness hanging above that. And of course, with my personal experience, I had to, how shall we say, pivot careers eventually. I reinvented myself as a disability inclusion person, and I started rewriting job coaching programs and mentoring programs to help further the inclusion of disabled people in the workplace, disabled neurodivergent people in the workplace. So when Liz approached me with this little challenge, I went, it's an organization. I'm a little skeptical here. So I do a little bit of investigation, and Nick is attached to it. And I researched Nick. I'm like, I know this guy. And one thing led to another. And then we brainstormed a little bit as to what the general theme would be. We toyed, with just general going about life experience where, disability is not represented, in the mundane, the everyday stuff, and employment became the theme. And as Liz said, that script came back and forth, and we were recording the voices. And actually, one of the great positives about all this, first of all, Liz is an amazing, outstanding ally. Anyone who's disabled knows how hard it is, like how much resistance we get from our collaborators or collaborators a lot of times, right? We have to push back, we have to argue, we have to fight, like, no, this is wrong, like you got it all wrong, this is how it goes. Never an argument from Liz. So I was about to record a portion that was originally written that we had both agreed to, and I went, that word does not work with me. And this is why. And this is how. And then Liz is like, what needs to be addressed here? And I went like, And then just after that, it's like, what I feel is the meatiest moment of the entire, not the ooh moment, that was brilliant, but like that really brought it home for me. And that's a part where she leads up to, oh, we can't accommodate for accommodations. Oh no, those are perks or accommodations. So to me, it's very representative of the narrative that we're often on the receiving end of in those situations. And when Liz suggested animation, yes, for safety and health reasons, I fully supported that choice, but also, yes, as someone who's been in the employment industry, these kinds of topics really need humor and really need to be softened for the message to be received. So I know it was well received by disabled and neurodivergent peers. So first of all, like the initial response was like, wow, people are really connecting to this. Like, wow, I remember taking screenshots of the original comments. It's like, I don't know those people, strangers are liking this. And then, one thing led to another, and I'm here today in amazing company. Oh, and I forgot to state my visual description. I'm a pale white woman with blue eyes and brownish hair that are graying in front of a brick background. So yes. Did I answer your questions?
That did. That answered my questions. And honestly, it's something that I felt very much, connected to. When I saw the film the first time, I was like, it's so genius that this film is animated, and it's animals talking animated and casually about really heavy topics. And it's a fun way to kind of use comedy and make a film. And also something else that you touched on was that you're able to continue to move your career forward during a time when there was a COVID outbreak, when these films were made, this is still a time where we're living in a pandemic. So the fact that you were able to still continue to further your career, make a film and do it completely remote, it really says something. And before we sort of wrap up, I also want to point out that this year, our 9th annual Easterseals Disability Film Challenge Award ceremony, it was hosted at Sony Pictures Studios, but we also were able to have it a hybrid award ceremony. Thanks to Microsoft Teams, we had people, including the team from Mac and Cheese, some of your team members, literally won and went onto the large screen inside Sony Pictures Studios. And Liz and Christine, you guys were in Toronto, not even in the country, but you were a part of the award ceremony. You made a film, and now it's really, connecting, as you said, most importantly, to people with disabilities that haven't had that experience and shown in a narrative setting. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody. Speaking of congratulations, we are going to end by showing a success story video, which gives a little bit of a snapshot of all the amazing work that's being done by our talented Film Challenge participants in front of and behind the camera. And again, we cannot thank CAA enough for giving us this opportunity to showcase our work and ourselves, and to keep this conversation going, especially during Disability Pride. Pride is really at the heart of what all of us are doing with our films. And, I think what has always been a big part of the Film Challenge is we don't need to, make the films about disability. Sometimes it's a subtle, sometimes we do want to, talk more about our disability, sometimes not a lot, but what we do have is a lot of pride in our disability. And when we say the word disability, it is not a bad word. Okay. There's a very smart man named Lawrence Carter Long who says, say the word, because there's power in it. And, we are talking about the largest minority population in the world. So I really, before we get into the video, I encourage you all, when you're putting your projects together, to really think of how do we be more inclusive? How do we include more people with disabilities? And from these films that were done with almost no budget, and in such a shortened period of time, you've seen the quality of talent that can be done. And I've seen time and time that the talent is out there for people with disabilities. And I feel very excited and optimistic about the continued growth. And that is thanks to our amazing partners and organizations like CAA that are really just doing everything that you can do to spotlight us and to listen and to be there as allies. So thank you so much, everybody. If you want to come on screen, give a little wave, give a little dance goodbye. Woo! You can sing, you could do whatever you want, but on the count of 3, we are about to show you our snapshot of success. 1, 2, 3. I launched the Disability Film Challenge over the course of a weekend. Participants write, shoot, edit, and submit 3 to 5 minute films that have somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. Partnering with Easterseals Southern California really took it to the next level, because to date we've had hundreds of films, countless success stories, and ultimately we're changing the way people see disability in Hollywood.
I am very grateful for the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge for giving people like me a chance to star in their own films and be recognized in them.
I wrote, produced, and created my own film, and it led to this amazing opportunity.
I want to play, but I can't play for someone else to die.
It doesn't matter whether you win or not, but if you do win, it's a game changer for your career. I've made huge connections at HBO, I've gotten to have interviews with Academy Award-winning editors.
I've been a Disability Film Challenge judge for 9 years, and I'm always looking for ways to represent the disabled community. So when it came time to cast the kids in Marry Me, I opened it to all ethnicities, all genders, and all abilities. And in that amazing process, I found Leah, who absolutely rocked it, dancing next to J-Lo.
It was actually unexpected. It was during the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge.
I'm asked to present an award at the Disability Film Challenge. I was so excited because I truly believe there's so much talent out there in the disabled community that is just not acknowledged the way that it should. Not naming names, but actually I'm gonna name names because I saw a short film starring Nicole Evans, and I knew that I want her to be in season 2 of Special, and she is. She's incredible.
And the industry is waking up to the value of authentically portraying characters with disabilities and including more people with disabilities in roles, and specifically in roles that don't have to do with their disabilities.